Bortnikoff Parfum is a niche fragrance brand that was set up by Dmitry Bortnikoff. The brand originates out of Thailand and they use really exotic ingredients and their blends are quite unique to me. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at their third collection. Hey there guys, Raj here, hope all of you out there are well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be taking a look at Bortnikoff's third collection today. So a while ago I bought some samples and I bought their third collection and the fourth collection. So I've got 4 samples that I'm going to talk about in today's video, and maybe after a few weeks or so I'll talk about their fourth collection. So I've got in front of me here Oud Monarch samples, that is Musk Cologne, Musk Khabib and Amber Cologne. They come in this little box here, which has Bortnikoff, I guess it's stitched onto the front, and inside the box you get this little paper that lists the fragrances and their notes. These ones are only for the fourth collection, and they also come in this little pouch as well. It's a purple pouch. So the samples look like this. Pretty simple, just standard samples. So yeah, so let's kick things off with the first fragrance. The first fragrance to talk about is Oud Monarch. This is my favorite of the 4 that come in the third collection. It was an instant like for me. So prices, I'm going to leave a little annotation because they do vary from fragrance to fragrance, but all of them are on the pricey side, so it's worth bearing that in mind. They come in a 9 ml and a 50 ml. With this one, with Oud Monarch, a 50 ml will be $350 US. A 9 ml will cost you $90. It's an X-rated parfum, and in the top notes there's magnolia and frangipani. In the heart notes there's rose de may, Himalayan rose, cinnamon and tobacco. And in the base notes there is Oud Monarch. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and I think it's an oud that derives from Indonesia. Oud Kochang, which I think comes from Thailand. It doesn't say on the website, but that's where I think it comes from. I did a little bit of looking online, and also the name Kochang, you know, it's a bit of a giveaway. There's also cacao, civet, castoreum, labdanum, and vanilla. Okay, so what does Oud Monarch smell like? Well, to me, one of the dominating accords here is this chocolate accord. It gives a wonderful sweetness. There's a powderiness in there, the dryness. Maybe the powderiness is not just from the cocoa, but coming in from these floral notes in there too. It does have a kind of bittersweet quality, which I really enjoy in the scent. As the fragrance develops, I then get a little bit more of that tobacco, adding a kind of warm, fuzzy, slightly spicy feel to this fragrance. The oud comes through and I kind of feel like it gives a woodiness to this fragrance rather than overtly oody or barnyardy. It's a touch smoky, but nothing too much. I think also there is a menthol accord that comes through that maybe is coming from the oud. It's hard to say because it's all very well blended, and or maybe the concentration of oud is not that strong. It's hard to tell, but overall the fragrance comes across as really well put together, very smooth and very easy to wear, but also it has some depth to it which I quite like, but without being too complex. You get this kind of warm musky feeling as you go into the dry down, which is very so kind of, it has a sweet voluptuous kind of feel actually, but is nothing too loud and nothing too aggressive, and is overall a really smooth experience. I really enjoyed Oud Monarch. I have to say I did enjoy it. You can see the color of the juice is, you've got like an orangey, like an orange color there, which I quite like. Overall, a good fragrance. Is it something that I absolutely love? I wouldn't say I absolutely love it, but I do like it a lot, that's for sure. It performs well on my skin. I don't have any performance issues there, and I kind of feel like it is a very easy to wear chocolatey oud fragrance, basically. Okay, so moving on to the second fragrance. This one is Musk Cologne. And Musk Cologne is a little bit cheaper compared to Oud Monarch, but it's still, you know, on the pricier side. $270 for a 50 ml. 9 ml will cost you $80. This is an eau de parfum, and in the top notes there is bergamot, lemon, tangerine, and sweet orange. In the heart notes there's green tea, lily of the valley, magnolia, tuberose, and ylang ylang. And in the base notes there is Kapaga deer musk, which is the Siberian deer, and this is a real deer musk that they use. Indian sandalwood, and gaiac wood. I am actually going to touch on the topic of natural deer musk at the end of this video, so stay tuned if you want to hear my thoughts on that. So Musk Cologne definitely comes out with this slightly sweet, citrusy feel, but it's not something that really dominates, or I thought it was going to be a little bit more noticeable, but overall that really isn't the opening accord that I get. What I really get from the opening, and I have had this fragrance on for about half an hour, but there is a touch of that orange that comes through. But I really get this heavy floral accord that really dominates. It's fresh, it's almost green in some ways, which could be coming from the green tea, I don't really know. But it is quite so heavy on the florals that I found it a little bit overwhelming. I do like Musk Cologne. It is a nice fragrance, but the heavy usage of florals in this one really kind of put me off, because I found them a little bit too heady and very exotic, and is not typically what I go for when something is that heavy on the floral notes. I mean, it's tolerable. It is joined in there with this real deer musk, which was quite interesting for me because I've never smelled a natural deer musk. It is almost slightly sweaty. It's very furry. It's warm, but it also has a kind of creamy texture to it. Now, that could be a combination of the florals and the musk, given that creamy texture. I'm not 100% sure, but these are the kind of things that I pick up during this fragrance. It is a fragrance that I feel is not really for me. It does smell a little bit strange. It's quite an exotic blend, and I feel like the Bortnikoff is the best word. The two best words to describe Bortnikoff are exotic and niche. Now, for me, Musk Cologne just smelled a little bit off to me. I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Maybe it's this natural deer musk. Maybe it is the green tea mixed in with the florals that are just not working on my skin. But overall, it's not really for me. I can't say I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it. You know, there are parts of this fragrance that I like, others that are kind of a bit weird for me, to be honest. Performance, again, was good on my skin, so no issue there with performance. Musk Cologne was an interesting creation, and that's what I found with Bortnikoff. That's one thing that I've really even though I'm not talking about the fourth collection here, I have tried those fragrances, and I will mention them in a later video. They are very unique blends to me. I felt like I was diving into a whole new world. It really opened up the senses and was something very unusual to me, which is a great thing because I'm getting to discover whole different types of olfactory accords and blends and ingredients. But at the same time, if I don't like it, I don't like it. So there we go. Right, so moving on to the third one, and this one is Musk Khabib, and this is an extrait de parfum, back with the higher pricing, $350 and $90. In the top notes, bergamot, cardamom, and nutmeg. In the heart notes, there's ylang ylang, cedarwood, and tolu balsam. And in the base, there's ambergris, deer musk, oak moss, vetiver, tonka bean, and vanilla. So what does Musk Khabib smell like to me? Well, it is not a fragrance that I can say that I really like. I don't hate it, but I'm leaning towards like disliking. It is a strange fragrance. It smells slightly sweaty. It smells like an old carpet. It smells like an unwashed wool old jumper. And it makes me feel at times slightly nauseous. There is this salty oceanic accord, actually, which possibly is this ambergris accord. I don't think ambergris is one of my favorite ingredients, to be honest. I've never smelt like actual ambergris tincture. I've heard it can be quite an experience, shall we say. But this one, yeah, again, those creamy florals that are very, very heady and not really my style. And Musk Khabib was just very strange, and I tried my best, guys, to be honest. I went through all of these samples, and a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to use a lot, so I wore these on several occasions and never really got into this fragrance, or it never turned to a like. Not really a fan of Musk Khabib, to be honest. Okay, so moving on to the fourth and final fragrance to talk about. This one is Amber Cologne, and at the time of filming, because these fragrances are on the limited side, I guess once they're gone, they're gone. I can only see a 50 ml bottle. It will cost $180, so that's the lowest price I've seen for Bortnikoff fragrances. It's an eau de parfum, and in the top notes there is bergamot, lemon, white and pink grapefruit, sweet orange, cardamom and frangipani. In the heart notes there's jasmine, sambac, Virginia cedarwood and sandalwood. And in the base notes there's grey and brown ambergris, oud from Sri Lanka, booyah oud, which I believe from what I saw online is derived from Southeast Asia, couldn't find the country, and also vanilla. Amber Cologne was another fragrance that didn't work for me. I can't say that I like this one. Again, I don't dislike it. I can really see the quality in it, and I think there are some very interesting ingredients, and I think it is overall a smooth blend. But heavy florals, heavy white florals, I just don't really enjoy. I think the jasmine, well, I don't enjoy them when they're this intense and this concentrated. The jasmine really, really comes through, and this really takes me back to when I used to live with my parents in their old house, and they had a jasmine plant or a bush in their garden, and every now and again when it was in bloom you would get the scent just like wafting its way down to you. Very, very intoxicating, very sweet and slightly honey-like, but just too strong for me. For my personal taste, I don't like it like this. There is a kind of sweet, juicy citrus note that is there kind of in the background, but you can definitely tell that it's there. And that's pretty much how it plays out on my skin. It's a citrus white floral. It's quite simple. It's well put together. It's quite smooth. But for me, my personal taste, I think citruses and heavy white florals, not my favorite combination. Amber Cologne was a nice fragrance. I wouldn't say it lasts a huge amount of time on my skin, but I got around like 6 hours, which is, I think, a decent amount, but nothing too loud. Again, I've had it on my skin for about half an hour. Don't pick up on any oud in here. Don't really pick up on any noticeable ambergris notes. Ambergris, if I'm honest with you, is not something that I'm really familiar with. But Bortnikoff claimed to use a lot of natural ingredients, so perhaps the ambergris in here is natural. I'm sure there are synthetics. There must be synthetics used in here as well. But yeah, overall, a more simplistic fragrance. Maybe I'm just not able to pick up on the complexities. Maybe you do find it a complex fragrance, but for me, yeah, I didn't really like it, and even though I didn't dislike it, but again, kind of in that middle ground, yeah. So overall, my thoughts on the third collection from Bortnikoff. Interesting fragrances, unique blends, interesting ingredients. They smell very exotic to me. They often remind me of my trips to India. Heavy floral garlands, maybe thick concentrated flower oils, attars. And walking through like flower markets and all these bouquets around you. Slightly sometimes spicy or woody, so very, very exotic ingredients. And I enjoyed experiencing this olfactory profile of the brand. But the third collection, apart from Oud Monarch, not for me at all. I can't really say I enjoyed wearing Musk Cologne, Musk Khabib and Amber Cologne. Oud Monarch I think was very, very nice, but maybe out of my price range, to be honest. Okay, so going on to the topic of using deer musk. Now this is natural deer musk. This is something that I didn't really think about before buying these samples, and it's only something that came to mind while I was wearing these fragrances. So, a a lot of companies will not use natural deer musk. The use of natural deer musk in perfumery, I believe, may even be banned. I'm not 100% sure about that though, to be honest. What I do know is that some countries do ban the hunting of deer. But I think from what I could tell, and I'm quite new to this, guys, so I'm not 100%, I may not be 100% sure on all the details, but I believe in Siberia, which is a part of Russia, it is actually legal to hunt deer. Now, whether that's a good thing, I lean towards no. I would say it's unnecessary. I don't know the reason why it's done. Is it to provide sustenance to those group of people that live in these remote areas? Maybe. Is that a good thing? Well, I don't know. It comes down to ethics, really, and I'm kind of feeling slightly uncomfortable about the usage of natural deer musk. Okay, it may be legalized by the Russian government, but does that make it okay? I'm not really sure. Some deer out there in the world are endangered species, so you can't hunt them. I guess the Siberian deer musk is not endangered enough to be protected to that level. I don't really think it doesn't feel good to me to be using natural, those types of animal like ingredients. I think we should just leave animals alone. But, if you have a different view on that, leave a comment down below and I'll be interested to hear your view. I think it's something that I need to read up a little bit more. This whole thing is all very, very new to me. So there you go, guys. That's my view on the third collection from Bortnikoff. What do you think? Do you really like these fragrances? Are you on the fence? Do you dislike them? What about your views on the usage of natural animal products in fragrances? Whatever you have to say, say it. Like the video if you like what you see. And if you subscribe, that would really help out the channel. I would appreciate that. Check me out on Instagram as well if you haven't done so. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.